Oh, a prototype. Welcome back, Troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. It's time for that weekly mod collection demo shop update, and it's time to party with Lipstick Party Gloss. And I've been pretty sad. We haven't had really crazy out there finishes in a while, and here we go. We got like that candy store finish going on here. They've just really went all out there on the finish. So if it doesn't remind you of cotton candy, maybe it's colored sand that somebody's put in a glass, or maybe it reminds you of a sunset on a beach. How sometimes you get those different colors going on. However you want to take this on, we can at least agree it's unique. It's just a regular Les Paul Jr. You've got a slightly see-through pickguard, regular wrap tailpiece P90 pickups, but what's really cool is look what they did with our knobs right here. They have painted it to match the color scheme of the guitar. So those likely just started as regular custom shop gold bonnet style knobs, and they just went pss, pss on each of the sides, but it works incredibly well. And our fretboard over here has a little bit of streakiness to it to match the vibes, but no matching headstock on this one. They didn't want to get too crazy. Well, until you get to the back anyways. Rainbow Stinger, my friends. On a silver neck with a complementary back finish, the same as the top. Now that you see both of them on the same screen, you can tell that the Rainbow Stinger is a slightly different hue than what we had on the body. They wanted a huge premium on this, over $1,000. And it's not my favorite thing we've ever seen out of the mod collection, but it's fun, it's whimsical, that's what this is all about. A+. Next up, we've got the Blue Tone Ivory. At first glance, it's a white Les Paul custom with P94 pickups that have custom plates. Kind of reminds me of the reptile ones like on good old Crocomelon, however this time blue. But where they sold me on this one is they match those blue pickup toppers with a blue Gibson headstock, but it's not full on widowed effect because you still have the white binding. But then when you flip over to the back, it's just pure white. But if you look on the side, it's sparkle blue, so that's kind of interesting. It almost looks like it has a multicolor chromatic effect when you get it in the light because there's a little bit of a rainbow shining through. And then it's the back photo that shows you this is not just a normal white custom, that's a pearl white. Gibson actually made pearl white Les Paul customs way back in the 80s. I've documented an extremely clean one a long time ago. Wish I would have kept that thing. But at only $46.99, that seemed like a deal because a normal white custom's about $6,000 brand new. But even if you compare it to the black Les Paul customs price tag, you're still getting a discount. And if you don't like these pickups, you could always swap them out. I mean, sure, you'll have a random blue headstock. That was well worth the purchase. Following that up is a special done up in Sogold. It's $2,300. They made it gold everywhere, except for the fretboard. So far, the mod collection guys have not tried painting the fretboard a different color yet, except for on one, it's bigger red. But apparently nobody wants to buy that guitar from me, so maybe I'm the weird guy that happens to like painted fretboards. But I like the headstock here, the way that they've masked off the logo pretty good, because sometimes that can get sloppy. But then we've got this black Les Paul model silkscreen that seems to pop more than usual. But as you expected, a completely gold backside as well, with moto backplates. But this standard 50s pumped me up. Elephino gray. I'm assuming that they're comparing this to an elephant, which is kinda like a rhino, and you guys know I like my rhino Les Paul Access customs. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. It's not flashy and exotic, but it's basic and majestic. And most importantly, it's a complete gloss refinish. And if they would have put a nice little cartoony elephant back here, I would have bought that thing in a heartbeat. But if saving money on car insurance is more your style, how about the Techno Gecko? It looks like it started life maybe as a different burst and they just kind of oversprayed it green. It gives me witch vibes personally. But you've got your zebra bobbin pickups, looks like chrome hardware. Oh, I like that headstock a lot. It's a dark green metallic one. I thought it looked different from those other angles, but I just thought it was because it was a lime green Les Paul model silkscreen. But no, the whole thing's just been painted over, but they masked off the logo so it didn't go green. That actually looks incredibly good. And whoa, the front does the color shift effect. Okay. At first I thought this one was kind of ugly, but now there's a lot of other stuff going on that makes it twice as ugly, which reverses the scale and all of a sudden makes it cool. Back appears to just be a regular red with nothing over top of it, as far as what we can tell. And it was only offered at a small premium. Next, if you're hungry, there's a bronze citrus. Pretty basic, orange Les Paul standard, black plastics, no pickguard. But then you flip over to the back. It's like a very dark molasses color. It's extra zesty with a stinger. And then we've got the return of everybody's favorite hard to say finish, Pearlple. Basically trying to tell you it's a pearlescent purple with a little bit of gold. Looks more like an indigo blue to me, but maybe it does a color shift effect, who knows? Yeah, because back here it looks a little bit more purple to my eye. That's strange how that works. Then we had Blue Mountain Flair 335. It's a blue 335 with an uncovered bridge pickup. And not too much going on the back, although you do still kind of have a dark back neck. And then this standard 60s is done up in Sunken silver. Kind of looks like a crusty old guitar. Reminds me of the old Elegant Alloy series, how some of them corrode over time, but that's what they were going for. So if that's your style, that's your style. Looks like they left our headstock alone and left the back black. Hear me out though, this SG Special in Dark Star Blue, Gibson put this one into production now. You're gonna sell too many of them to keep up. That is a great blue color. We need a new blue hue for Gibson that just stays around for a while. Pelham has been done so much since 2019. It used to be really rare, but now it's just kind of out there. This kind of reminds me of the candy apple blue that you would see in the late 2010s era. But we no longer have P90s over here. We've got mini humbuckers, all chromed and blinged out. It looks pretty good. And it's a complete refinish. No stingers or other funny business, but nice. And at a fair price. And as a play on words of gold top, we've got cold top, which is like a blue burst with a slightly darker border. Kind of reminds me of the robot guitars in a roundabout way. But as the top name suggests, the back is normal. And to round things out, smooth sparkle. Kind of looks like a metallic grayish-like finish. Looks pretty nice with the cream plastics. And oh, something going on the back. It's got a little bit of a reddish hue, so it's just really dark, and then it's hard to tell, but adjust the contrast. That's looking like it has a really long extended stinger that might be like a metallic gray color over top of your kind of reddish hue. That is incredibly hard to see though. Looks like somebody found it though and purchased it. So overall, kind of a cool week within the mod collection. But before we continue over to the demo shop, I've got a heartwarming tale. A viewer of the show has been looking for a blue Les Paul custom, and he eventually found one in the demo shop. He had purchased it, and in transit, the darn thing broke. He was absolutely gutted. So he contacted the demo shop about it and said, hey, we've got some shipping damage. What can we do? And they told him, send it back for a refund. It's fine. To which he said, would you guys just repair it? Because I've been wanting this guitar forever. Since he was being reasonable, they said, yeah, we'll take this on. And he left a note in the case that said, hey, I realize the aged Pelham blue finish is going to be a little bit hard to match. So if you just wanted to do a stinger on the back, I would be okay with it. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And after not hearing anything from him for a while, he eventually got a shipping notification and got his guitar back. And when he flipped it over to the back side of the headstock, what do you know? There's his beautiful stinger. That's awesome. I love that they went a little bit above and beyond in that situation. But now another viewer email confirmed something that I was thinking last week. In case you missed that episode, Gibson opened a third demo shop. I had some people commenting about a custom shop. No, this is the demo shop where the factory seconds and damaged guitars go. There's only one Gibson custom shop. At this point in time anyways, there used to be an LA custom shop, but we'll talk about that another day. And I suppose there used to be the Memphis custom shop, but I mean, it gets dicey. What do you actually consider the Gibson custom shop? But anyways, the UK demo shop. Looking at all these photos on here, I thought it looked way too similar to the EU demo shop. I understand that they have a setup, they could probably replicate all the same cameras and equipment and it would be close. But like, look, this is the European demo shop over here. It looks like that. These are still the European demo shop items. Nah, just kidding. That's the UK. You didn't even notice. But this viewer of the show said he ordered a guitar from the new UK demo shop. And while their page says they're located in London, per their UPS tracking number, it actually shipped from the Netherlands. So I'm curious if they're starting up the UK demo shop, but the Netherlands guys are currently running it just to get it going. And then maybe when they're a little bit more established, they'll do their own thing. Or maybe it's just, hey, let's give the UK some love. We're only going to ship these guitars to them. So I'm not sure, but it does not seem like these are shipping from London at this particular point in time. But let's start with the USA demo shop. There's a P9050 standard, had a black and gold hardware mix, kind of cool. But now for the thumbnail tease, there was a prototype and I missed it. It's so cool. I probably wouldn't have bought it anyways because acoustics aren't my thing, but this was a prototype J45. So it's got a wooden pickguard on it. It has a really nice rustic natural finish, but there's no inlays on it at all. I thought that was quite fascinating. The back was made of walnut. It looks like complete satin finish everywhere, including the neck. the headstock. That's pretty sweet. I would like to see some more of that. Put it on a custom shop Les Paul. Mother of Pearl and Abalone cool, but it's been done to death over the past 70 years plus. I'd like to see some new inlay styles. And we got a cool little knot in the neck, and it came from 2019, so that's right when they were prototyping all the new stuff. And it came with a hard shell case. So it looks like this might have been a prototype for the J45 Studio walnut guitar perhaps, but they decided to not do the Gibson inlay with wood, and they changed some other stuff. Or maybe it was a prototype for a different model. I'm not really sure. There was also a chambered 3 pickup Les Paul Black Beauty. That was a pretty good price on one of those. Now, it was just a regular Les Paul custom, it wasn't a 57 reissue. But even so, that was like $600 discount. No brainer. Even with a ding on the neck. So those were the 3 things that sold very fast. But they also had a cool transparent ebony 339. I like the wood grain on that one, very spooky. There was a 1942 Banner Southern Jumbo. Nice tobacco sunburst finish. Cool rosewood looking back. Banner logo as implied by our title, but the reason I wanted to share this one is look at those tuners. I love that additional pinstriping line in them. Makes the open back have a cool vibe. There was a really interesting Access custom in Bangle Burst. It never ceases to amaze me just how different this finish looks example to example. This one, it looks like they went a little bit too heavy on the red and made like something completely new and custom, but I wouldn't say I hate it. Although to be honest, if I ordered Bangle Burst sight unseen off their website expecting this, and that showed up, yeah, I'd be a little bit upset. This / November Burst had an incredible top. Like, it's hard to describe, but it's got a nice homely feel to it. At first I thought this was just another CME exclusive, but no, this is custom shop, $3,500. That's not bad for a custom carry green color. It's got a little bit of aging to our nickel hardware. That is a sweet SG standard. But now let's go overseas to the European Demo Shop. That's the one that's in the Netherlands. They had a few new models, but only one of them stood out to me this week. It was the sparkling burgundy Thunderbird. I don't know, something about this lighting angle with the shadows just made it look particularly attractive, so I decided to scroll through these photos, and then I got to the headstock. That was option number 2 for the thumbnail. I'm a big enough of a fan of the brand to have the double Gibson logos, but even I can agree that's a little bit ridiculous. They almost need another one up here done up in Mother of Pearl so you can just have all 3 Gibson logo styles. It just made me chuckle. But our UK demo shop, our newcomers here, they had some cool ones. Dirty Lemon 59 standard with an awesome top. That's the wide flame that I prefer, and that color, yes. And the aniline dyed back is not as extreme as some of the other ones. That's like a perfect storm. But then they got another one of these Americana Rangers, which tells me it's the Netherlands guys again. But look what happened to the top on this one. It appears a cloth or something sat on top of it like a case shroud and bled into the finish. I mean, if that's your guitar, you just kind of have to live with it. It's got an interesting vibe. Certainly not my favorite, but it could give you an idea of what to do on a custom color in the future, like overlay something over top of it. But this by far, how guys? 2 days? It's only $1,700 including everything? This is a 2019 Firebird currently out of production. I had no trouble selling the one that I had gotten in on trade for $2,500. This is nearly $1,000 off. You guys are sleeping on this Firebird. Those things are great. And then lastly tonight, one of the rock top Les Paul standards. It's kind of an interesting flame pattern, unique double staining effect to bring out the flame. I wouldn't mind documenting a rock top. Cool back grain too. But they've really overblown those tuners in the editing department where they almost just don't exist anymore. But they offered them in 4 cool finishes. It looks like we're looking at this one, but for my documentation piece, I kind of want the trans geode finish because it works so well with the rock top vibe. So if anybody's thinking about selling one of those at a reasonable price, feel free to let me know. All right, troglodytes, I hope you enjoyed this week's recap. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you tomorrow on the next one. Take care. If you enjoyed tonight's episode, consider subscribing. I post videos like this every day. And you might even enjoy this next one.